did a masked vigilante bicyclist stalk and chase down Benedict Cumberbatch, otherwise known as Eggs Benedict Cumberbund. A masked cyclist, we'll call him MC from this point forward, followed Benedict Cumberbatch, BC, till BC pulled over near King's Cross Station in London, and both then blocked the lane as BC was accused of slowly running red lights, or a red light. That seemed to be the main contention from BC's standpoint. BC denied the accusation that was also given by bystanders, witnesses, etc., and variations thereof with different stories. MC says, "You're lying. I was behind you the entire time." "Why are you following me?" BC said, "You are verbally abusing me." MC said, "Oh no, I verbally abused the guy who is completely, repeatedly broke the law." Londoners have a habit of stacking superlatives. Repeatedly, completely, fabulously broke the law. Stop it. BC said, "I did it once." MC accused BC of running 2 red lights. BC denied it. That's literally it. And others said he may or may not have. But the actual accusation is that at least 1 light he agrees to that was run slowly. Now, this is nothing about Benedict Cumberbatch or the masked cyclist, whether or not he's a vigilante. He's a heckler. He only partway through the argument realized it was BC. Which I'm amazed that you... Sure, okay. I mean, maybe he looks too rough. I don't know. So anyway, here we go. Masked cyclist stalking Benedict Cumberbatch, following him. Okay, now I'm going to give a couple of pieces of information. Number one, I'm an ex-cyclist at this point because I haven't done any cycling in over 2 years, so therefore I'm not a cyclist anymore. That's my own assertion. I spent most of my life on a bike, and it was done out of necessity and also for other reasons. I've been assaulted by more bicyclists than drivers. And I've been assaulted by more people on foot than bicyclists because people on foot are more common. And most people in a car don't go after a cyclist or a person on foot because they have to fucking deal with the car. The car actually reduces the amount of danger I'm in from being assaulted most of the time. There will be other stories in this video. So what actually happened? Someone wearing a mask will assume, even though it's very common for cyclists to do this in congested cities with, oddly enough, pollution, therefore some chest congestion, they'll wear a mask. Also, well, that's it. Benedict Cumberbatch was on a cargo bike. He might have had electric drive in it. People are discussing all sorts of things. The only video you're going to find is about 40 seconds, and the accusation is that it went on for 5 to 10 minutes, and that they wouldn't let go. One of the things I learned about being on a bike is escape anyone who's aggressive or angry for any reason. I don't care if they have a justified reason. Anybody angry is dangerous. If I'm not into an altercation, angry, nasty, obnoxious people will try to draw you in. That's called trolling. The person was heckling them. The person yelling, "You're lying, I was behind you the entire time," has the inflection and behavior of a person who's deliberately trying to draw someone into an argument. Immediately, just from that individual is screaming at the top of their lungs, "I'm a troll." Now, people do that, they get snotty, as we call it in the United States sometimes, when they're trying to push something, no matter how petty or minimal it is, no matter how fine a point they're making, they might do that because they're trying to aggravate the person. I'm not trying to tell you, Mr. Cumberbatch, that you ran 2 lights or 1 or that you slow rolled it. I'm just going to sit here and neener you to get a reaction out of you. That's, by definition, is what we call, at least the police department calls it, escalation, even though they do it all the goddamn time. They will do it in the least snotty way possible, but they'll escalate things to where there's an actual shooting because cops are psychotic sometimes. And that's kind of the point. Yes, the person who was harassing him was doing it for the purpose of harassing him. And the assertion that is common between all of them, including Mr. Cumberbatch, is that he slowly ran a red light or more than one red light. What that's called is a rolling stop, otherwise known as a yield only. All stop signs in some cities in the United States and in some states are treated as yield signs for bicyclists because of the necessity of it. Now, some of you who are going to get angry about bicycles are not going to listen. So if you're one of those people, I'm not talking to you, and if you get mad at me, I'm not letting you post your comments. You don't deserve to have free speech on my channel. And now they're typing. So let's while they're typing, let's talk. If you're on a bicycle, your ability to accelerate and decelerate through an intersection determines whether or not you get crushed. If you're in a car, you, the person in the car, are not immune, but you're in something that's intimidating enough a person doesn't want to run into it because that might damage their own car. They can see you because you're in something physically large. And you have horsepower to get through. A human being is rated at maximum like a quarter or half horsepower of actual braking horsepower, energy applied to the wheels or by pushing. We do not have the ability to compete with something that's 20 horsepower maintaining speed on the highway at 60 miles an hour with all that wind drag, much less 100 horsepower or 50 horsepower or 30 horsepower it takes to get through an intersection in a reasonable period of time being a vehicle. On a bicycle, however, it drops down to being about 1 horsepower to get through an intersection on a bike. So that's why you'll see people using half, quarter, or even full 1 horsepower electric drive systems just to go through an intersection. Because lingering in an intersection longer than you need to, or longer than, than a certain amount, will make you easier to hit. People ignore bicyclists. They do. Because when you're driving a car, most of you don't realize you're ignoring anything that isn't a threat. You'll pay attention to a telephone pole. You'll pay attention to a brick held by somebody, but you won't pay attention to the person. You can get people who can describe that brick I was holding on that intersection while I was trying to cross the street and not get hit. But they can't describe me because they're fixating on the thing that's important, a threat or a financial issue. But people will ignore or not be able to understand visually and cognitively that there's a bicycle directly underneath their vehicle. I'll bring up several stories in a minute. What was the contention was whether or not he ran more than one intersection and whether or not he really ran it or just slow rolled an empty intersection, which you might think is impossible, but I mean, somebody can map this out and find out which intersection. There's a lot of alleyways and stuff because, again, if you're not aware of it, if you're on a bicycle, we think of being crushed as being bad. We don't have, we get medical insurance, not auto insurance, because everything to us is a physical injury. The bike is irrelevant. Every bike I've ever owned has been deliberately the cheap one because I will ditch the bike, jump off of it, and let it get crushed by a car rather than die. If I'm in perfectly healthy condition and their car is damaged, it's a plus if they were aggressive, and yes, there are stories. But here's what was likely going on. If he's a standard cyclist in London, he took pathways that would have little or no traffic no matter what time of day it is, so he could reliably go from point A to point B on a regular basis and not have to worry about getting hit. That includes finding intersections where the stop is really not needed if you're going to go through it. And the fastest way to get me out of an intersection is to not make me stop at it unless there are cars. If I see anybody in an intersection, I stop. I will also get off the bike, pull the bike not just to the right side, but all the way onto the sidewalk. I've been accused by someone of trying to avoid being hit by them in front of police because I pulled my bike off to the side and got onto the sidewalk so they couldn't hit me with their car because they were actively trying to hit me with their car. They then lied to the police. That was a charge. And there was a video camera and a bunch of witnesses. And the police said, "Are you pressing charges?" And I said, "You're being audio-video recorded, and everyone is telling you that this person tried to murder me with a car. I know you don't want to do anything, but all I did was exist. This person showed up to this in angry status, breathalyzed them, blasted drunk, tried to hit me with a car because I was on the road at all. This is on a road where the person could go past me because it's 2 lanes going one direction." I've been assaulted again. I've been assaulted by bicyclists more often than car drivers because they can physically get away with getting to me. I just get off the bike, pick it up, and walk with it. Again, besides making it as cheap as bike possible, I make it when I can lift up and walk with or run. I can also just put the wheels on the ground and go. I will use a sidewalk for that purpose. And before you say it, yes, I ride the bicycle on the sidewalk if everywhere else is more dangerous, but if there's a bunch of people, I get off the bike and I stop riding the bike on the sidewalk because I don't want to hit anybody. It's not complicated, is it? And then people say, you have to be in the road. No, I don't. You have to be on the sidewalk. No, I don't. You can't ride your bike on the sidewalk anywhere in Portland. Wrong. There's like 3 places at the time. And every police officer is made to know it. And they all act like they don't because they want to get that collar, whatever the collar is. You completely and repeatedly broke the law. 2 times is technically repeated, yes. If someone blows 15 stop signs, that's repeatedly. Someone slow rolls 2 empty intersections and you followed them, unless you can prove you stopped, you rolled them too. And again, the reason for this, if you're not, again, the reason bicyclists do actually just roll through a stop sign is if nobody's in it. Now, if there are people in it and they go through it, they're dumb, they're going to cause a wreck, give them a ticket. But if it's an empty intersection and you're behind them and they slow roll it to get the hell out of your way, you want them out of your way. I don't want them having any privilege. It's not a privilege, it's an attempt not to get hit. And if you're getting angry, you're the person who's going to hit them. If you become irrationally angry that someone has it better than you, go after Trump and Elon Musk, not somebody on a cheap-ass bike trying to get to work without getting killed. They're not privileged, they're not snobs, they're not arrogant. You're an asshole. The powers that be want you to fight everybody else. Pick a group that you're going to be angry about irrationally. The less rational it is, the better, because then you'll either have to drop the subject and actually go after people who are actually making you miserable, the rich and powerful, or you'll double down, become irrational, and go after people who did nothing. I've seen people pick up a kid's bike, throw the kid off of it, and throw the bike into their yard, and then drive away because they just hate bicyclists. I've personally not been assaulted very often by a driver. The reason is, not because they're less aggressive, but because they have to run into things. I've tricked drivers into ramming dividers, posts, a fire hydrant, that was entertaining as hell, a tree, a bridge abutment. I've been successfully attacked by bicyclists because they just drop the bike and attack you. More. Exactly 1 case more. Think about what Portland's like before you comment. The people in a car have the ability to do a fuck ton more damage than some guy throwing a fucking water bottle at me and it being technically assault. Was this an incident worth a video that goes on for 15 minutes? No, it's not. Was this very likely what people call an activist or a vigilante? No, this is a road rager on a bike chasing down Benedict Cumberbatch before he knew it was him, and then out of embarrassment doubled down, which is the behavior you don't want. Last, somebody who won't admit that they're wrong shouldn't be allowed to be in a car. I didn't say driving, I mean in it. I don't want to deal with someone in the backseat yelling and won't knock it off. I don't want to deal with them driving either. Anybody who loses control like this should be legally barred from being even on the bus, train, boat, plane, or allowed to leave their house until they chill the hell out. Was BC being bad? We only get 40 seconds of video out of a supposed 10-minute video that was recorded somewhere, or 10 minutes of activity. I'd say he was doing okay. Was the masked cyclist an asshole? In my opinion, yes, but I don't have everything. Maybe you do. Is this caused because people don't like that bicyclists, out of necessity, really do need to roll through a stop if it's an empty intersection? I think this is caused by that. The other thing is, again, if there's anything in the intersection, I don't care what it is, we don't go through. I don't go through. I pull my bike out of the way because if I have an intersection that's that fucked up, I just get out of it. I'll walk across a crosswalk. My safety is more important than your comfort. But that also means I should just get out of the way if I can. So I do. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. Post your comments below if you're sane. Bye.